Hey, I'm Vishal Krishna, the editor of the upstreamlife.com. I've got a special person with me. He's part of the board of governors at IIM Calcutta, and he's also part of the board of directors, and he's also chairperson of IIM Calcutta's Innovation Park. I'm talking about Mr. Ajay Jain, and Sir has graced a podcast to talk about what is happening with innovation in the Northeast. And I was fascinated to learn so many things today, which you will. Ajay, so what else are we going to talk about other than innovation?
Oh, we can talk about movies, we can talk about cricket, we can talk about FIFA World Cup, anything.
But you're being very modest. We are going to talk business and how the Northeast region is changing. So please like and subscribe to this podcast. Ask question again, because that's what keeps us alive. Thank you so much. Follow the podcast for more. Ajay said it's an absolute pleasure to meet somebody who's been in the center of entrepreneurship for 45 years. Now you're paying it forward as a professor at the IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, right? It's fascinating that you've come all the way to talk to me, and makes me happy. See, you're a builder by nature. Why the break to become a professor?
Firstly, it's an absolute pleasure to be here and to be with you. It's a very important question. And these are learnings over the last 45 years. I have spent about 42 years in the corporate world, about 25 years as an entrepreneur, and about 17 years in the corporate world. One of the major things I found is that a lot of corporates, a lot of entrepreneurs focus on profits.
Right.
Do we actually focus on society? And that learning was given to me in my first innings as a CEO. So I was heading a company called Shriram Bearings in Ranchi, one of the back of the B1 places at that time. This was about 1998. The president of my union came to meet me. A gentleman called Rana Sangram Singh. I can never forget him. 6 foot 8 inches tall, well built, carried 2 guns with him. He was the head of the HEC union, which had about 35,000 people at that time. A vice president of, I think, INTUC. And we sat and we chatted, and he told me 2 very profound things which have stayed with me. One, he said that, Mr. Jain, there's a pen on your table and there is a bunch of papers. You will be signing on them. Have you realized that each signature of yours impacts 25,000 people? I was young. I said, how come? He says, you have 1,200 workers here. Each has an average family of 5 to 6, which is about 8 to 9,000 people. You have 180 officers, again with a family of 4, another 2,000-3,000 people. You have vendors. You have suppliers. All these people live in a village called Ratu. Ratu's village entire ecosystem depends on you. Whether it's the milkman, whether it is the gardener, whether it is the vegetable seller, grocery seller. So please bear in mind that one signature of a CEO of a company impacts 25,000 lives. That stayed with me. Second thing which he told me was that, a peon came with a cup of tea. I was young, impetuous. I may have said something, not the right thing or whatever. He just smiled. And then once that chap left, he said, you have said something to him which is a little harsh. Do you know, when he goes back to his house, he is like God to his children, because he brings money which is fed to the children, with which they get education and others. He is also a God to people. Please realize that. These 2 things taught me a lot of empathy and the fact that we need to give back to society. Of course, my biggest mentor was my grandmother. She, along with people like Aruna Asaf Ali, Tara Ali Bey, actually started school in 1950 for uplifting destitute women. And they taught them skills so that they could become useful members of society. And that has been taken forward by my mother, who is the director of their school. She is also working with leprosy colony for uplifting children. So all those things have built an ecosystem in my mind more than anything else of how to give back to society. So my move today, you asked me why I became a professor. 40 years of learning. The only way I can give it back is not by only talking to my children, but talking to a much wider audience.
Yes.
So I teach in IIM Calcutta as a visiting faculty, and I'm a professor in Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, where I interact with young students, give them these thoughts. So that's my way of giving back to society.
This is interesting for me, because you spoke about the learning from your mother and your grandmother. It's all the young children and young entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs watching this You'll probably want to know, why didn't he talk about his business? I would want to know. I mean, you went to Kuwait, didn't you?
Right.
What did you do in Kuwait at the time? And again, coming back, was the social nature of yours, being, helping students understand what they have to do as future leaders, was it always there in you? Did you carry it to Kuwait?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't
very
think
honest.
so.
Very honest. Good.
The reason I went to Kuwait was in 1983 when I passed out. I had a fabulous job with it.
Yes.
I got probably one of the highest salaries at that time. My parents were in Iraq at that time, so I went for a holiday there. And on the way back, we stopped over in Kuwait. And, my dad one day sat me down and he said that, beta, the Iran-Iraq war is on. It will end someday. And as soon as it ends, there will be a huge number of opportunities which will come. So why don't we set up a business in Kuwait? Try it out. Otherwise, 2-3 years, you can always, if you don't succeed, you can always go back.
Oh, that's a wonderful father.
Yeah.
I mean, he wanted you to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah, he did. So that's what I did. Although the learning at that time was, there was no ecosystem with me.
Yes.
So he just left me in Kuwait. He was running his business in Baghdad and in Delhi. I had practically no idea what to do. It took me a few months, and that is what has taught me the importance of mentors, the importance of people who will guide you, help you. And I will come to that a bit later, because that is one thing which I find missing in today's world. A lot of entrepreneurs think they've got funding. Let's scale up 100x, 200x, buy our Mercedes, buy a new house. Have they developed the 3 M's? For me, they are very important. First M is manpower. Have they built their team? Second is method. Have they built the right methods and processes and systems? And the third is machinery. Machinery means equipment. For an IT, it could be, software, hardware, and others. For a manufacturing, it could be equipment. If you don't have these basic building blocks in place, how do you scale up? And if we see the startup ecosystem in India, a majority of startups fail because they get money. Money is available today. In India, for the right idea, money is not a problem. Money is available. They just think scaling up.
Yeah.
They think they know everything. They don't. They need mentors. They need people to guide them. They need people to help them, which is where an IIM Calcutta Innovation Park comes in. We are probably not like the other incubators, that we only give funds and create large unicorns commercially. For us, building and scaling up business is more important. Social impact is absolutely critical.
Yes.
So we have worked with more than 2,000 startups in villages of India rather than the towns. And I believe the next ecosystem is going to come from there and not from cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Delhi.
You're hinting at long-term strategic thinking.
Yes.
Which also has social impact.
Correct.
And again, going back to the generation of your father, they believed in social impact to townships. And I'm sure all the way up till Mr. Narayan Murthy, it was that how do you create sustainable ecosystems, aspiration, right? It's not going back there.
No, it's not.
Right? So what do we have to do? Because institutions will lead innovation, and innovation will probably create social impact. That's my analysis there.
So 2 things. One is that I don't think many of the institutions of the 80s and 90s focused on social incubation or social impact. They created businesses and profits.
Okay.
Although within inverted commas, political circles, profit was a dirty word.
Yes.
But it was not for the commercial enterprises.
Okay.
I think the fact that we need to socially uplift the ecosystem is coming recently.
It's a recent phenomenon.
It's a recent phenomenon.
Contrary to what we believe. It's interesting you say that.
Yes, I think it's a recent phenomenon. And also my biggest belief is that if we have to go by the Prime Minister's Viksit Bharat 2047 vision, it will not be driven by large businesses. And I'll tell you 3 reasons for that. First and foremost is that if Viksit Bharat has to happen, it has to happen in the villages of India, not in the towns and cities. Number 2 is that if you see data, more than 2/3 of all jobs are created by SMEs, not the large enterprises. And if you see the third data, a lot of ideas are floating around in the rural and semi-rural areas. So in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, we work exclusively in the rural and semi-rural areas. In fact, 50% of our startups are in the villages of India.
Absolutely.
So we know what ideas are there. We know what they can do. And we think that, so I recently wrote an article also that, if India has to become sustainable and water positive, it's not going to happen in boardrooms or in presentations or in conferences. It's going to happen in the villages and the rural towns of India.
Yes.
And when we work with startups, we in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park are working with multiple startups coming from the rural and semi-rural area. We see the type of ideas they have of how they can make their village or town sustainable. I think if these ideas can be taken across India, that is what will make India a socially powerful society which uplifts its people. And frankly, if you are living in Bangalore, for instance, you would require maybe 1 lakh a month as an income to become successful. But if you are living in a village, even at 25, 30,000 is
not enough. Yes.
And those people can do that. I see the passion in it.
Okay. Since you mentioned IIM Calcutta and the Innovation Park so much, I want you to tell us about a little bit about it. How old is it, and what its intention is, social impact, in the Northeast region. But quickly, some facts for me, the importance of an institution is really necessary here, because I think institutions will eventually lead to innovation. Sir. Sure. Without such institutions, I think it'll be fragmented.
Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely right. IIM Calcutta Innovation Park is about 10 years old.
Yes.
We started off as an offshoot of IIM Calcutta because Indian Institute of Management Calcutta is a teaching institute.
Correct. Absolutely.
It's an academic institute. For it to focus on social activities was a little difficult. So the board at that time felt that if we have a Section 8 company, which can, be independent of the government's rules, regulations, work exclusively in these rural areas, then it could make a difference to society. It took us a little time.
Yes.
But then we got a direction that, why don't we look at the Northeast? So we started working with Assam government. We worked with Manipur government. We worked under the National Rural Livelihood Mission. And we worked in the villages of India. So we may not be very big in terms of money which we have invested, but we are extremely large in the social equity we have created. And if I give you some numbers.
Yes, please.
We have currently incubated more than 2,500 startups in the villages and small towns.
In the social impact space.
Social impact space.
That's interesting. 2,500 is a large number.
We have created more than 20,000 direct jobs in these startups. We believe, we did a survey, that we have touched more than 10 million lives in the East and Northeast with the work which we have done in the rural areas. And I'll give you an example of that. Very interesting example. I was mentoring, I happened to be in Guwahati and we were doing a program. I was mentoring a Manipuri woman. She was doing handicrafts. So I asked her, how much is your income? She said about 8 to 10,000 rupees a month. I said, if you come to us and we incubate you, give you some funding, touch you with the major markets, your income will probably go to 50,000, 60,000 rupees. What will you do with that? I thought the answer is I would buy a fridge, I'll buy a cooler,
That's the expected socioeconomic status is what you'd expect, yes.
But what she told me has hit me somewhere here. She said, as of now, with this income, I have trained 20 to 25 people in my household and surrounding area. If my income rises to 50,000, I will train 300 people in my surrounding villages to do the same work. Now, just imagine, she will continue at 8-10,000, but if 300 people start getting 8 to 10,000, immediately you are uplifting society.
Yeah.
So the societal impact which an IIM Calcutta Innovation Park has done to me is far more important than creating a social unicorn or 8,000 crore valuation or 10,000 crore valuation.
Which is what I want to ask you about institutions in India at this point of time. A lot of the management institutions obviously support for-profit companies, in fact, take equities. In fact, that's all a rage now, university startups. It's sometimes they're very boisterous about it and really no value because everything is focused on mass scale without looking at the 3 M's, as you suggested. would you say that you require a balance to create innovation and not this was not the approach? What is the current approach when you look at others from a bird's eye view without commenting on anybody? What is your thought process in the current level of, institution innovation funding that's going?
If I may be absolutely blunt,
Please, you should be.
I think the good stories are made out of how much money you have invested. The media loves these stories.
Yeah, absolutely. We've become that over the last 12 years. I'm guilty as charged. I've also been part of that ecosystem. Yes.
So
You're right,
I think and because we are living in the social media world,
yes.
people want their faces.
Yes.
People want their stories to come out.
Yes.
So they think of incubation in this way. We have been probably a little reticent in this. We have not, if I can use the colloquial word, tom-tommed our social impact. Which is not to say that we have not worked in the other area. So about 50% of our work is in social impact, but 50% is also with startups. In fact, many of the startups that we have incubated and helped and given funding to come from Maharashtra and Bangalore and Delhi and other places also. And we have invested in companies which are also making drones, which are into AI, medical tech and others. But that's 50%. We still think of ourselves as a social,
which is so good to know.
And our vision, aligned with the Prime Minister's vision, is that currently we have touched 10 million lives. Can we by 2047 touch 1 billion lives? For us, that is our vision.
Is that possible, sir?
It is eminently possible because, for instance, we have given a proposal to the ministry currently that there are street vendors. They are being supported under the Prime Minister's Swanidhi scheme. But have they actually fully utilized those funds? Have they become businesses? We don't know.
Yeah.
So we have said, give us a chance to work with them. We will convert maybe 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 of them into running businesses so that it doesn't become an off and on business. Street vendors are vagaries of nature. They can fail because of that.
Market
Police
forces
comes, take away that. Market forces, their quality is not good.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we incubated a lady in Assam who was doing pickles. She came to us, we incubated her. So then we told her how to do packaging, how to get a FSSAI certification, how to have a go-to-market strategy. Today she she sells pickles not only in the east and northeast, but in multiple areas of other areas of India. She has become a crorepati Didi. So, these are things which
that's a great story.
Difference. Yes.
From street vendor pickle seller to something else now. Oh God. Something else is packaging it better.
So these are things which many companies do not think about, many academic institutions do not think about.
And I'm sure she's touched the lives of many people.
Of course she has.
Distributors,
and she has opened a B2B, bed and breakfast in her own place now.
Fantastic.
So just see the type of employment she's generating.
No, so you're saying it's completely possible by 2047, if we are true to our vision like this, we'll achieve it.
Yes.
Okay.
And vision is all about thinking big.
No, I agree. And my next question was that, there have been academia and corporate partnerships since 1947 for sure. It's actually percolated down to every institution, every college looks at innovation and partnership with a corporate. How can that be formalized as just like we have a formalized payment ecosystem through the UPI, which is brilliant. It took the government to do it, Aadhaar and UPI, with private help, of course. Can we do the same for academia? Corporate partnership, its importance, and have some kind of a national mission around this?
It's already there.
It's on a unified basis.
It is on a unified basis already there.
Okay.
So the government of India, they've I think put again 10,000 crores.
Correct, which they spoke about today. Yes.
Which is, dispersed through CIP.
Yes.
But that is not dispersed through CIP directly to companies.
Fund of fund.
It is through incubators.
Yes.
Like us. And the DST actually recognizes incubators across India.
Okay.
So I was in a committee meeting in the ministry recently, which ranks states on their incubation equity. And each and every state has been directed by the central government to develop incubators and incubator places where incubation can take place along with academic institutions. So if you see academic institutions across India, whether it is management institutes, whether it is the IITs or the engineering colleges, all of them have incubation centers.
Correct.
the Atal Incubation Center, the Atal Tinkering Lab,
Correct.
all are a part of this entire ecosystem to develop academic industry partnership to help incubation and start.
Are they fragmented, or would you say they're unified? Because people like you, with your knowledge, if you had the insights to say, okay, there's something happening in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu versus Calcutta, a bridge between all these entrepreneurs, can that happen?
It can. As of today, it is fragmented.
Yes.
I must say. I may be off by a bit, but I think there are close to about 700 incubators in India currently.
Yes, sir.
Only about 25 to 30 are profitable. Most of them don't know what to do. So, in fact, informally, we did suggest to the government that why doesn't the government encourage some of these incubators to come to a place like IIM Calcutta and learn. So, one of the things which we intend doing in the future is also to run a management development program for incubators on how they can incubate more, what can they do better.
This is fascinating. I didn't know this was a number. 25. It's not frightening as much as saying these people need interventions.
They need interventions.
Which is a fair answer.
Also, the point is that most of these 700 people were given funds by the government of India to set up incubation centers. Once they have utilized the funds, they don't know where to go next.
Yeah, which is what you're reading my mind, which is beyond capital, right? What next? Is it mentorship? Is it networks?
Correct.
What ails you? Can we help fix this?
So that is what we did, for instance, in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park. We started with a very small fund. But today, if I see data, and I'm not going to give you all the numbers, but we are one of the only 2-3 companies or incubators in India with huge capital reserves, which we have built over 10 years, which help us go forward.
Yeah.
Most of the incubators, and some of the very well-known incubators, don't have reserves.
Right.
They depend on grants, they depend on projects, they depend on everything. Yes. So
what are the models that are popular for institutions today? I know there's patronage from from alumnus.
There's patronage from alumnus. Well, that's not as big as CSR of companies and as government-run programs.
Alumnus should, right? In the US, it's all alumnus, right?
It's all alumnus, but unfortunately, in India, IIM Ahmedabad is very big.
Yes, absolutely.
They every year collect about 250, 300 crores from their alums. IIM Bangalore does about 25, 30 crores.
Yeah.
IIM Calcutta is...
Look at the delta. Look at the delta, isn't it? 250 crore.
I'm not going to tell you IIMC figure. The delta is even larger.
Oh.
So
it'll improve. This is a thing to alumnus that come help us out, right?
True. So one of the things which we are also planning in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park is to set up a AIF, which will be funded by alums. So that's still in planning stage. I look forward to a timeline for that, but it's still in planning stage, and we will implement it.
If I was in the newspaper, this would be a breaking piece for me. It's really nice.
Yeah. So, but again, I'm saying it's in the planning stage as of now. It will take a little time because the legal formalities are fairly large for AIF. Right. So we'll go through the process.
This is interesting because if you do this, if others also follow the route, there's access to mentors, there's networks, across the globe. I'm sure Indians are across the world.
Sure. But the point is that alums have their own networks which are already investing large. So you have the Indian Angel Network, you have the Mumbai Angel Network. IIM Calcutta alums in Bombay itself has formed a network to invest in startups.
Big network.
Yeah.
Well, in this conversation so far, what I've also learned from you as an entrepreneur, as a technocrat, and a professor is that you have a lot of empathy in whatever you're saying. You because of your vast experience. Perhaps when we do these networks and hopefully at some point of time unified instead of being fragmented, why does empathy become important?
If you are looking at social entrepreneurship, if you are looking at social upliftment, empathy actually comes first.
Yes.
So we did in Innovation Park a branding exercise a couple of months or 3 months back. And we found that one of the basic tenets for IIM Calcutta Innovation Park was empathy. And when we talked to the startups which we have incubated, that is also something which they came and told us. That the one difference we find, you see startups have taken funding from us, from Ahmedabad, from IITs and others. But they say that when you talk to us, the empathy comes across.
Yes.
So for us, an IIM Calcutta Innovation Park will always be at the front.
Got it.
Because of the empathy. See, I know probably you'll ask this question later, but I'll come to it now.
Go on.
In our generation, failure was seen as something...
Yeah, I want to ask you. That's correct. Yeah, we'd hide things even from our parents. Yes.
Yeah, even for our parents. We never highlighted failure.
Never.
In fact, we ran away from failure.
Correct.
if you see the startup ecosystem in Silicon Valley,
Yeah.
the VCs and PEs only invest in companies in which the founder has had at least one, preferably two failures.
Correct.
Because my belief is that failure teaches you, success makes you arrogant.
Yeah.
And it is the failure which teaches you what not to do and what to do. So I have had multiple failures, in my life. In fact, last year I was asked by IIM Calcutta to speak to a group of CEOs and MDs, about 60 of them, on the three biggest mistakes of my life and the corporate learnings from that. I told the professor, I can't think of only the top three. I can probably think of 300 of them. But the point is that the world of today is not a smooth road.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's not going to be a smooth road. It's going to have humps. It's going to have bumps. There will be landslides. These will lead to failures.
Yeah.
What do you learn from them? How do you become a better person? How do you become an entrepreneur who will not repeat the same mistakes? That is what failure teaches you.
Yeah.
And I believe failure is one of the biggest things which should happen to all of us. Because only then we become learners.
And also strategic, right? That's when you start building structures that don't fail.
Correct.
Is that something that you teach, sir? I mean, or is it learned?
It is learned because there's nothing like practice. So, in fact, sometimes, when a student does not do as well in the exam as is expected, I always call them and say, good, congratulations. And they say, why? I said, because you have learned what not to do and how to do it better.
Interesting.
So, yeah, failure has to be accepted.
Yeah.
Failure has to be, I won't say celebrated, but it is something which teaches you a lot of good things.
Yeah, that's why your empathy coming back. Because of your empathy, I'm sure it encourages people to say, okay, I'm going to come back somewhere.
Right.
Maybe I'll take a job, but I'll save money and come back.
Right. So one of the things which we have also found is that why do startups fail? And in India, statistics are 90% fail. Maybe
more.
Maybe more. Our success rate in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park is better than 80%. Success rates. Our failures are less than 20. One of the reasons is that we not only give money, we not only take incubation equity, we mentor them.
Correct.
We tell them what to do, what not to do. We have our monthly MIS. And if people don't send MIS, we actually send people to their office to check why it has not happened. So we do things.
This is an intervention,
which we think are essential for a startup to grow.
Fantastic.
Because startups will fail. And why they will fail is because the startup founder, if any startup is listening, please excuse me for saying this. You guys think you are the best in the world. You guys think you are the most intelligent, you know everything. Maybe you do. But you need somebody to help you. You need a sounding board. And that's the difference between a mentor and a coach. A coach tells you what to do, what not to do.
Yeah.
A mentor is a sounding board.
Yeah.
You sound across your ideas to him, and a mentor will tell you, maybe instead of this, take this direction. So it's like, cricket. The coach will tell you, bat should be straight, play forward. A mentor will tell you that probably when you face those 6 balls, these things you could have done different. That's the difference between mentorship and coaching. And I believe even the most successful founders and startups need.
You said it. Coaching is foundational. Yes. Mentorship is advanced.
Correct.
This is fascinating. On that note, if you come so far, please like, subscribe. All right, sir. In the first part, we looked at innovation and why it's a driver and institutions being central to that change. But for that to happen also, India is so vast in its geography. We've seen the Bangalore cluster. We've seen the Sanand cluster for automotive, Bangalore for IT, of course. When I look at the Northeast, and because we're talking about IIM Calcutta and the Innovation Park, how do you reimagine geography? Because I think for the first time, a lot of people will travel and see that the Northeast is so beautiful. But we also need, every place succeeds, not just because of tourism, but also the impact that we can have as businesses.
Sure.
How do we reimagine that?
So, 2 things. One is that for a very long time in independent India, Northeast was like a frontier where nobody went. But I think with this government's look east policy and with the current, political dispensation in Assam and the Northeast, a lot of people are looking at Northeast in a very different way. Because it's an area of immense potential. It's an area from where I mean, I have been there, and I can tell you that the beauty in some of those areas in Meghalaya, Manipur, Arunachal, and others is not matched by any place in the world. I've seen the Grand Canyon in Colorado, and I've seen the Grand Canyon in Meghalaya. I think the Grand Canyon in Meghalaya is far more beautiful, but the infrastructure does not exist
To see it, to go and
see it,
Yeah.
watch it. So I believe that the Northeast is an area waiting to explode.
It's
It
got a
is-
younger population.
It's got a younger population. It's got a very passionate population. It's got a population of people who want to work.
Yes.
So currently, if you see the entire ecosystem of entrepreneurship in India, about 2 to 3% comes from the Northeast in
Okay.
terms of the GDP, in terms of others. The task is, can we take it to 10%? And we in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park over the last 7 years have worked across the villages and the small towns of Northeast. The type of passion we find there, the type of desire, the type of resilience, the type of, people want to do work. They have not got the avenues to do work. So for typically a person in Assam or in Manipur and others, his idea was, can I sell in my state? Maximum, can I sell in the Northeast? Because access to even other parts of India was not there. There was very little rail link, road links were tenuous, aircrafts were not there. Now with the new railway lines having been built, the Assam government is building a huge logistics hub just outside Guwahati, which will act as a logistics hub for the entire Northeast. With these things coming in, the entrepreneurs can now start looking at least national, if not international. So one of the things which we have done in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park is to give these entrepreneurs, to give these people in the villages access to markets which they did not have. That's what I call mentorship. Because, for instance, this lady which we incubated, she was looking at selling pickles only in her area. Today, she sells pickles in the entire Northeast. She is now into Bengal, Assam, Bihar, Jharkhand, and others. We want to take a national law. So, the entire ecosystem there is waiting to explode. And if you see multiple organizations in India, whether it is, of course, the government of India is certainly, so they have formed what is called the Ministry of Donor, which is looking at Northeast in a very big way, which is headed by Honorable Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia. And they have got huge amount of surplus funds with them. But if you see even companies like ENY, if you see NSRCL of IIM Bangalore, if you see IIM Ahmedabad Ventures, all of them are setting up offices there because all now see the potential of Northeast. So I think the Northeast will really explode in the coming few years.
I have something to share with you, and this will probably impress on you that region will grow. And I had a agri-tech startup company, and I knew the entrepreneur for a decade. I said, "What are you doing recently?" He said, "I'm going to the Northeast. I'm done with the South because it's, I make money, but it's Northeast is where the future is." I said, "What, are you going to grow coffee or something?" He said, "No, pineapple."
Correct.
I said, "Why pineapple of all things?" Anyway, I know that a lot of the global retailers do buy pineapples from the Northeast. I said, "You don't realize that a lot of the pharma companies want a molecule from the pineapple plant, which they can use for vaccines." It was interesting.
Okay.
I said, I mean, I don't know the biology of it, but that was fascinating. Here's an agri-tech company looking at Northeast it was a frontier, but now he's looking at it as an opportunity. And all frontiers, by the way, are opportunities.
All opportunities. So let me tell you a story. There is an area between Shillong and Guwahati, which probably grows the best and the sweetest pineapples in the world.
Yes.
Till now, they did not have access.
Correct.
Last year was the first time that the Lulu group actually
Heard of that.
flew out 10 to 12 tons of those pineapples for sale in the UAE.
Yes.
Now, if these logistics hubs come up, just see the amount of wealth which these farmers can get.
Phenomenal.
Because those pineapples, and what you're saying is correct, it's not the pineapple itself, it's the outer covering of the pineapple, which we discard, which has got multiple uses, including conversion to handicrafts, to other things. So there's just so much which can be done with
So there's no wastage.
There's no wastage.
No, this is phenomenal, and I'm glad we could share these stories with each other, because I think people watching this, that's why you have to go to the Northeast.
Correct.
And I'm sure that, you gave me the example of the lady who sold pickles and later on she's gone on to package it. I hope they become global successes in a way.
Our entire endeavor will be that.
And do you think the hardship is in the access at this point?
It is. Access is a hardship. Because please understand that the Northeast is linked to India by a very small piece of land called the Siliguri corridor.
Yes, small corridor, yes.
It's a very small corridor. But now with this logistics hub coming up, with more and more flights taking off,
Yes.
multiple airports being developed across Northeast, rail links having been developed. So Agartala is currently linked, Manipur is getting linked. Shortly, I think Arunachal Pradesh will get linked. So access is going to be huge now.
It's going to be solved also.
And last year we were in Meghalaya.
Yes.
Meghalaya is really developed as a tourist hub. During the summer months, there was no place to stay in Shillong. So people tell me that 20 years back, Shillong was a nice, quiet place. Now it's become as crowded as a Manali or a Shimla. But I believe that, the Northeast is a place to go. The beauty there is unimaginable. I would recommend to all the people who are viewing this, please at least make one trip to the Northeast to see for yourself what I'm talking about.
I'm glad over coffee you said, you wish that Bengal went back to its former glory.
Right.
Because historically it is.
Yes.
It has a glorious history, right? And I hope the Northeast has the same with the current investments.
So Northeast probably does not have the industrial history which a Bengal has.
Yes.
Because, Bengal was the capital of India.
Yes.
And that was the center or the heart of the industry. So whether it was Tata's, whether it was Birla's, Goenka's.
For a good 150 years.
Good 150 years. I think it will take time. Because industries relocation is not a very easy thing. Okay, so in a lot of industries got relocated outside Bengal, but people will go back because of two reasons. One is that if you read what Mr. Harsh Goenka said, that Calcutta still is the third largest city in India in terms of GDP. The reason for that is that Calcutta is still the hub for sending out materials to the entire East and Northeast.
Yes.
Still the hub. So the trading community is still very, very strong.
Very strong, yes.
Money is very much available. It's a question of the political will to do things. I think if people see the political will, Bengal will again become one of the biggest industrial hubs.
And it's going to happen for sure.
It
takes time,
takes time.
Anything, yes.
But yes, it will happen. And I think once that happens, the access to Northeast will get created.
No, I hope it happens sooner because India has a lot of young people.
You will be surprised at what is happening in the Northeast. So already there's one IIM in Shillong. Another one is opening in Guwahati. We have an IIT in Guwahati. We have an AIMS coming up in Guwahati. Even IIM Calcutta Innovation Park, we have at least 4 MOUs, 3 with engineering colleges across Northeast, 1 with IIT Guwahati, for doing incubation in rural areas of the Northeast.
Which is what you're reading my mind again, because at the central point of this is also the women.
Correct.
I mean, and that's the grassroots movements that's always been there, which can now actually graduate to the next level of scale.
So at the risk of alienating a few males, I would say that the women in Northeast are far more passionate about work. They are far more diligent. So we are working on multiple programs, including a program with Pernod Ricard for encouraging women entrepreneurs, social women entrepreneurs in the Northeast. So I think day after tomorrow, we have the first round of jury round of encouraging the top 10.
Okay.
And these are all women entrepreneurs creating social impact in the Northeast.
Is it agri products?
It could be agri, it could be handicrafts, It could be anything. A lot of women are actually, coming up with multiple ideas into AI and tech also.
That's good.
So I was interviewing one woman entrepreneur there for possibly mentoring her. And she wanted to set up an AI-based, and she's an ex-professor in an engineering college. And she said that I have a background in AI and I would like to set up an AI tech startup in Guwahati or near Guwahati.
Which is heartening to hear, and also good to hear. Pernod Ricard, large company,
right,
would have been buying in those regions for years, and they'd want solutions also.
So we are working with multiple large companies. We are working with Tata. So we run a program, a very successful program called Tata Social Enterprise Challenge, in which we invite startups who are making a social impact in India. Last year we got more than 18,000 applicants. The top 50 we took to Calcutta, and then we gave them, a boot camp, 3-day boot camp on It was like a MBA, shortened MBA 3-day crash course.
Yeah.
And then the top 10 were given awards. The top 3 got very good prizes also.
And they continue to be businesses, no?
Yes, they continue.
Okay.
And the top 3, we are also incubating now in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park. Similarly, we are working with Daimler for social impact. We are working with Pernod Ricard. We are working with Titan. We are working with HDFC.
Yeah.
So multiple corporates we are working, and most of our focus is on social and rural areas. So we have worked under the National Rural Livelihood Mission also. Earlier in 3 states. Now we have a program running in Tripura and in Jharkhand for actually working in rural areas to encourage these startups to come up.
I would encourage a lot of women studying in these places with ideas to actually apply, right, to these programs. They can become entrepreneurs.
We have found that women entrepreneurs are more diligent.
Yeah, so, with the money.
Well, both ways, with work and money. So we do encourage them. Yes.
Okay.
And at least more than, the work which we have done in National Rural Livelihood Mission, we have found more women in villages than men who have put startups and who are encouraging, very, very encouraging for us to work with them and bring them up.
This is good. So what would be the role of the government in all of this that we're doing? I know you earlier mentioned the rural mission programs, right? What could be their participation in this? Because I know the private companies will come, they'll do something in CSR. What I'm coming to is linking CSR plus, saying, okay, you have CSR responsibility. Can we also now do social impact plus profit? Take these women and men to the next level. Again, going back to mentors, access, all that. And government, it's all about providing infrastructure, I think.
No, it's not. So government is providing huge amount of funding. So under the 2 programs, one is the National Rural Livelihood Mission and the National Urban Livelihood Mission. They're also working in urban areas. They're working in rural areas. Then the Startup India Fund,
correct,
Deep Tech Fund, the Atal Incubation Centers, the Atal Tinkering Labs. So there are dozens and dozens of programs which the government is undertaking today for grassroots innovation and bringing up women entrepreneurs. The problem there is only one. As of now, the government is focused on giving grants. So, in fact, we Indians are very, very good in our business acumen.
Yes.
So, it has given rise to a breed of entrepreneurs.
We take it for granted.
No, it's not.
Grants and taken for granted, would you say?
Yes, it is. But I'll tell you, there's a breed of entrepreneurs who will set up a startup, take money from A, B, C, and D, E, F, and G, H, I. Within 2 years, fold up the startup and just take the money.
Yes.
And after another 1 year, set up another startup and do the same thing.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So one of the things which we have told the government also is that it's not only a question of how much grant you have given. Have you actually seen whether those companies have grown? So one of the key result areas for you, the KRA, should be, have they survived for 3 to 5 years? How many jobs they have created? So I've given this idea. Hopefully the government implements it.
Accountability is
accountability. More than that, have they survived as a business?
Track that.
So one of the things why we are successful is that we don't give grants only. Even when we give funding, we give in 2 or 3 tranches.
Measurable.
We give the first tranche, then we say meet these milestones and take the second tranche. Meet these milestones, take the third tranche. Because of that, the company gets a 2-year, 3-year time frame with us, in which we mentor them, guide them, and they know they are accountable to us.
This is fascinating. So it's scalable impact at the grassroots level if you do this.
Absolutely.
And I hope the government listens. I think time has come. We have enough narrative on the number of startups that are registered in India.
2 lakh plus.
Yeah, 2 lakh plus.
Yes.
Oh, it's important to measure how many have survived, why they've survived.
Correct.
And those who come in will be tracked.
Correct.
And nothing wrong in doing that.
Absolutely.
Because everyone say, no, why are they interfering? Well, no, obviously they're giving you money.
It's not interference. It is helping them grow.
Absolutely. And this is why I say valuation secondary, impact first. Impact, in a sense, make your startup sustainable.
Right.
Social impact also. But these things will put you towards the valuation game later. What are your thoughts on this valuation game that runs? Which is okay. Americans like it.
No, it is not okay.
No? You don't like it?
In fact, VCs and PEs are realizing that they went into a valuation game and lost huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
So they are realizing the importance of having your balance sheet in the black.
Yes.
Profitability, having the right things.
Yes.
Moving forward slowly. A lot of VCs have already realized it. So if you see, people talk about the VC funding drying up. It's not drying up.
Yeah.
But it is becoming a little more careful where they invest and how much they invest. So those game of very heavy valuations, one company came to us for funding. Their turnover was 8 crores. They wanted a valuation of 300 crores.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And I will not name it, but one of the incubators in India had already valued them at that.
40 times.
Yes. We told them, boss, maximum we can value is 20 crores.
What is they selling?
A sustainable product.
Okay. Deep tech?
It had elements of deep tech.
Okay.
It had elements of deep tech, but it was not something which could grow 10 times in 2 years. Okay.
Because you've been in the industry, you'll know.
Yes.
But why does that happen? I mean, maybe because we're so young in the selling aspect of things, of money. India itself, right? 91, I mean, look at 90. I mean, if you compare the US and India, we started becoming a more corporate from 91, I think.
So one of the reasons for that is that, for instance, in that, when I went through all the retail, I realized that the organization which had valued them at 300 crores had put in 1 crore at a valuation of 10 crores. So they wanted their 10x or 8x returns.
Yes. And they have to scale.
So because a lot of these companies or organizations which put money up front are looking at a 4 to 5 year exit plan.
Yeah, because they have told that LPs will give you that much back.
So in fact, I was, again, I would not name the company. It will be...
No, we shouldn't name anybody.
Correct from my part. We have just funded a company.
Yes.
Okay. And immediately the founder said, they, I think, having a turnover of 12 crores. He said, next year, 100 crores, 2 years, 300 crores. Our valuation will go to 500 crores. I said, hang on. Where are your building blocks?
Yeah.
Where is your team? I said, you are the only one doing business development. Can you do 100 crore business development yourself? Get your team in place. Hire them first. Have your building blocks. No superstructure can be built if the base is not strong.
Systems.
First, make the raft. So even if you do a civil construction, your basement and the raft should be strong to support the superstructure. That is the biggest problem with startups. They build on the superstructure without having the base.
That's, by the way, this is not philosophy. This is real. Yeah. Please look at the world like that. You'll make it more sustainable. In fact, I was looking at sustainability from a different angle. Right. Apart from financial sustainability, I want to know. There's a lot of narrative now on deep tech, and everybody. We started. Many years ago, it became analytics became big data became machine learning became AI. Okay, and I understand some of the companies have achieved that, but majority of them are just in the analytics space. They call it AI. So coming back, two things, right? How should India manage the narratives? They say we need to have intellectual property. You have your own deep tech. And I have this theory that we don't even own some of the resources to do this. What is the reality for us?
So, okay, I'm not an expert in AI and deep.
Yes.
But the reality is that in India, we are still an outsourced country.
Correct.
And I'll tell you one of the major reasons for that. If we see deep tech, what are the drivers? The first driver is R&D.
Yeah.
In India, a majority of the R&D work is being done in academic institutions, not in industry. See the data. Out of the total patents filed in India, 1.69% get converted to commercially viable products. Yeah. For me, innovation is not patent filing. Innovation is commercialization. A lot of people think innovation is, when I patent file kar diya, I have innovated. No, you have not. Have you created value? Value is only created when it gets commercialized.
When someone pays for it.
When somebody pays for it. So, in deep tech and AI also, a lot of patents have been created which have not been commercialized. We are still a global outsourcing place. And the difference between us and the rest of the world is, if you see a Japan, if you see a China, if you see a Germany, if you see a Korea, 25 to 27% of all patents and R&D work is done by corporates, not by academic institutions. Unfortunately, in India, a lot of patents are filed by academic institutions, and I may be pillared for this. But the reason for that is that academic institutions for the R&D works get a better NIRF ranking. Because that is one of the key things. But unless R&D work is done by corporates, unless it is done by industry, which can use it for commercialization and for adding value. For me, innovation is adding value.
That's brilliant. I mean, if there is research happening, now these corporations can work with these professors. Say, I'll fund you.
Correct. So
Build a
that is the
company.
second level which I'm coming to. The academics are already doing it. Corporates need to go to them and say, show us what is the patent which you have, what is the R&D work which you have done, how can we commercialize it? Conversely, even academic institutions need to go to corporates that this is a product which you can use.
Yeah.
Please commercialize it.
Yeah.
And we'll work with you. Maybe what we have done as a patent or as a product development is still not commercializable.
Yeah.
Work with us. Tell us what the requirements are and we can tweak it to suit your requirements.
Do you think these 5,000 odd large cap companies that we have should now move the needle and say, look, if we want to look at the future of our sustenance and growth, we need to work with the research?
Absolutely. Bang on.
Hope it happens, sir.
I hope it happens.
So, because my next question was on clean tech and sustainability, which is part of the IIM Calcutta Innovation Park's thesis also. Is that something you'll bet on? Research entrepreneurs come and research personnel to come and say, okay, we'll now set up our lab in the incubation or innovation center and build a company. Would you want more professors to come? That was my question.
No, I'll tell you two things. I think clean tech is the next.
Sure.
But we have been hearing it for the last 20 years. Okay. Because in India, unfortunately, the corporates still think that if I can do something so that the PCB doesn't harm me, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
They have to realize the commercial value of sustainability.
PCB means pollution control.
A lot of people are realizing it. The Tatas are realizing it. Okay, I think Tata has already set a benchmark 2030. They will be water positive across all Tata companies. My problem with that is that most companies think that we can get by. That is not going to be the future. Just to give you some data, about 80% plus of all water in India is already contaminated. Unless we treat this as not only a social problem, but a social or environmental problem, but as a national problem, we will not be able to get out of it. So, for instance, wells in Punjab are drying up.
Yeah.
Now, Punjab is the breadbasket of India.
2,000 feet they have to dig now to get water.
And I remember a United Nations study that about 79% of all wells in Punjab are now beyond redemption. Okay, so maybe overstating, but
I like the way, India shouldn't get there.
We cannot get there. So my problem with this is that a lot of what we are doing work in sustainability is in boardrooms, classrooms, presentations, conferences. Actual work will happen on the ground. That is where we come from in IIM Calcutta Innovation Park.
Very nice.
We are encouraging grassroots entrepreneurs in the villages of India, in social incubation, in water and clean tech and agri-tech, to come up with, because people who have worked with their hands can come up with ideas which are sustainable for a much longer future than for people sitting in the boardrooms.
No, I think we have to, and the time is now. Again, to your question, the Viksit Bharat thing, 2047.
Correct.
Agreed. I think, this has been a fascinating podcast for me because if I summarize, the funniest moment was you can't take grants for granted.
Right.
Just because you're doing 8 crores, don't think you're valued at 800 crores. These are fascinating nuggets for me, for the younger audience to realize that you're building for 30, 40 years, not for 2 years and then say, okay, I made something out of life. Failure is real. Learn from your failures, build better companies, have a little bit about empathy. I want to end this podcast by talking about the leadership. How do you spend your time? I know you said you want to give a lot back now by teaching. How do you want your leadership to be recognized as a legacy, one? Secondly, what would you recommend people of many generations to read? What inspired you?
So answering the first part, for me, leadership is about creating leaders. If I can create 10 leaders who are better than me, for me, that is leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership is not about telling people what to do. It is about encouraging and mentoring them to come up to be better than you.
Yeah.
I always tell my children, please understand that you have to be 10 times better than me.
Mhm.
Don't say that, you have done this and all that. You have to be better than me. So for me, leaders create leaders. So I'll give you one small example. In my startup, I actually picked up a guy from an ITI who was a carpenter. I saw the potential. He started learning welding, then he learned electrical, then he learned plumbing. So he became a one-man army for me for my installation works. Then one day he came to me and said, "Sir, I would like to open my own company, and can you outsource your activities to me for the installation?"
Entrepreneur.
He became an entrepreneur. My biggest success was 5 years later, his turnover was more than my company's.
That's
For me,
inspiration.
that is leaders.
Which is, and there's no insecurity here.
There's no insecurity here, not at all.
My last question, and I think it's very important. You mentioned about your grandmother who set up a school, who was perhaps one of the first graduates in India in the 20s, and then set up a school, and then your mother took over the school, and then your father inspiring you to become an entrepreneur, and then you pushing yourself to become a professor, and you worked in large corporates in India. What keeps you going in terms of, is it books? Is it, again, the family heritage of education? And now you pass it on to your children. What keeps you going?
Two things. One is, of course, family heritage. I think I always count my grandmother as my biggest mentor. And my parents, my father, my mother, my wife. I have faced so many moments in which I've doubted myself.
Okay.
She's the one person who has always told me, don't doubt yourself, you can do it. And you are better than what you think. So, for me, she has also been an inspiration. For my children, I think I never really forced them to do anything. I gave them the liberty to choose their paths. Guidance whenever they wanted, yes. Which is what I also do in the organization in which I work. I don't believe in only giving out. I always believe in listening. So one of the things which I always tell my team is that you have 2 ears and 1 tongue, use it in the same ratio. Okay. So that's been my mantra for a very long time. Why I give back to society is because I believe that after having spent 42 years, there's just so much which I think I can come back.
Yes.
I can go back satisfied that I've at least done something, maybe a little, very little, maybe an iota, but at least added some value to a few people. So that's what encourages me to go on.
No, and that's been fascinating for me to hear this story, and hopefully we do more. Thank you, sir, for coming here to the Upstream Life.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank
being
you.
here.
And thank you for following us, guys. And again, ask questions. That's what keeps this podcast going. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.